Greetings and salutations, fine people. I'm Patti Alvarez. Welcome to The Good Soul, a show where we'll have supercharged chats with everyday humans from all walks of life and unpack what in their story will inspire us all. We'll extract the untapped wisdom, distill it, and serve it up to you in all the right ways that will engage, enlighten, and most of all, inspire growth within your soul. I think people are awesome. So join me on this journey through the hearts and minds of ordinary people to uncover the good soul within you. This is The Good Soul. Hey friends, welcome to episode 22 of The Good Soul. Today we'll be talking the 4 agreements. Not only am I thrilled over that, but also it's another Manny Day.
Sweet,
Hey
sweet.
baby.
Hey, sweetheart. How are you?
Good, babe. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Good, good. So for those of you who don't know, this is my soulmate slash husband slash lifeline and man of my dreams, Mr. Manny Alvarez.
Right
So
back
thanks.
to you, soulmate.
Oh, thanks. So guys, this is one of my all-time favorite books. It's absolutely my first go-to whenever anyone asks me what book I suggest. Whether you've read it or not, you'll get a lot out of today's episode. So hear this. Today we're going to delve into the transformative wisdom of the 4 agreements. This book was written in 1997 by physician turned writer Don Miguel Ruiz. This book has offered me and millions of other readers profound insights for personal freedom and self realization. Rooted in ancient Toltec wisdom, this guide provides a framework for living a life of authenticity, integrity, and joy. Doesn't that sound amazing?
Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
Sounds
we're a
amazing.
work in progress. In this episode, we'll explore the essence of each agreement and unpack ways to not only use them, but review some challenges that we face while applying them into our everyday lives. So the 4 agreements examines the suffering people experience when they unconsciously adapt the dream of the planet, and I'm going to put that in air quotes. Society's shared rules and beliefs that shape our worldviews growing up. This collective conditioning domesticates us to judge ourselves and limit our true identities. The book traces this back to our childhoods, where our behavioral rules are rewarded with adult attention. So, this is how we learn to restrict our authentic selves to gain acceptance. So, the agreements aim to undo this conditioning. So, guys, are you ready to
I hope
undo this
so.
conditioning?
I
I
hope
know.
so.
So, let me
I don't
go
know what it's
over.
about, so I'm waiting.
Well, this is the best part. Let me
Uh,
go over what the 4 agreements are. First agreement, be impeccable with your word. Second agreement, don't take anything personally. Third agreement, don't make assumptions. And fourth agreement, always do your best. So, what do you think of that?
I think they're good agreements.
You like
Yeah, as far as
the agreements are Manny
I
approved.
guess again.
So that well, this is really cool because I was, kind of grappling with different ideas. I'm sorry, I just cut you off, didn't I? You were
No,
ready to say
no,
something. I'm
roll.
sorry.
No, I wasn't. No, go.
As he would say off camera, this is your show.
This is your
No,
show.
I'm sorry I cut you off though. But I think it's kind of cool that you haven't read the book. But it was funny that when I was reading off to you, and it's kind of a guy thing, I would say. I was reading off to you the agreements, and you're like, I agree, I agree. Like it's kind of like you approve them, and
Well,
it's
yeah,
kind of like stuff you already knew.
exactly. I think, at least I think. I don't know. You got me on the spot. Don't know nothing about the book. I'm put here and going. I'm in the audience.
You're in the
I'm in
audience.
the audience,
All right. But
taking
I would
everything in.
assume, like our viewers and listeners, that you're enthusiastic about becoming more enlightened and self-aware. And
Always, always,
yeah.
always room to improve.
Oh. We have this on record, so I'm gonna remember that. Well, we had a funny conversation in the middle of the night last night, and we're chill, and dogs are in the bed. And at one point, our Shanti, who is a nervous wreck, whenever Manny starts talking, Shanti gets really excited,
Oh,
and she kind of like goes over to him and tries to appease him. Now, by no means is my husband any form of abusive or threatening or bullying or anything like that, but he definitely has like a Ricky Ricardo edge in him. He says
so
he's
you
laid
say.
he says he's laid back, but if the kids were here, they would agree. He definitely has like a bit of like a when he gets angry. And it was funny because Shanti went over to you and was trying to calm you down. We were like talking about the TV show. There was no tension. We were like laughing about something, and she was
Just
Trying
my voice. Something with the
just your
voice, I
voice.
think. Yeah, it gets to it. She gets all nervous, shaky. Her tail goes. No, she don't have a tail.
Her
The thumb
nub,
goes
her
down.
nub. Yeah. Well, I had made a joke to you and I said, "Boy, even Shanti, she just wants to make sure she wants to make sure you don't get upset."
Oh, that's
She
it
doesn't
almost makes
light
me feel
she
bad though.
doesn't light your fuse,
So I'm
right?
like,
So so I thought that was really cute though, and that
they don't
what
know the inside joke about the light and the fuse thing though. That's why I'm laughing. I'm sorry.
no, I talked about it in a few
Okay, okay, good,
episodes
good, good.
how if he gets angry about something, it's my fault. I lit the fuse and I should know better, which self-help 101 says no, we're all responsible for our own responses to other people, but apparently I'm his kryptonite. So, but anyway, I thought I was very proud of you because you really owned your masculinity and your ability to not sometimes like you were aware that Shanti was nervous and that you need to kind of work on
Well, you
controlling
see
your
me. I always try to, when she gets like that all the time. Anybody like that's
I
with their
well
furious.
that's my
I
point and
always
that's
do. I always come down, try to come to someone's level all the time. Or
yeah.
if somebody's pumped, I want to be pumped. If I want to be mellow, I'll be mellow. I try
Yeah.
to adapt.
Yeah,
I
I love
guess that's
that.
what you're saying.
Well, and I think that what really excites me about having you in the chair this week is that I think a lot of men need to hear this that um getting any type of self-help or doing any type of internal work is maybe it's girly, maybe makes you less of a man, maybe it makes you, you know everything you need to know and you want to be kind of like the hero of the family. And I
No,
said
I
to you,
always listen.
well, and it was nice because I said to you last night, I said, "You're such an extraordinary human being. I just wish you would, just do a little bit of like turning inward, just a little bit." And I think the Four Agreements, as I said in the intro, is probably, in my opinion, the best book for you or any man in your position to read.
Okay, if you
Yeah,
say
so
so.
this is
Like
a
I
great
said, I haven't read
episode.
it, so I can't comment.
Okay. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the first agreement. And the first
All
agreement
right.
is being impeccable with your word. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a kind of a background into how Don Miguel up with this. He says using speech positively to to avoid self-judgment. This agreement is about taking responsibility for your words and speaking with integrity. It means using words in the direction of truth and love for yourself. When you are impeccable with your word, you don't gossip, lie, use the word against yourself, or goad others into inappropriate behavior. You become the master of your speech rather than the victim of it. How I love this.
Mhm.
This brings me back to a conflict I had with somebody once at the studio. And she said basically the talk was questioning my placing judgment on somebody, and she said, "Well, if you are judging that person, who's to say that when I walk away, you're
They're
not
gonna be
judging
judged.
me
Yeah,
the same way
exactly.
same way?" And God, I've heard this, but oh my God, how
You know me, I'm not a gossip. I
no.
don't go
God, if I'm
I
on the
don't
phone
like
with my girlfriends and he hears me, he's like, cut the like he gives me like the throat
I
cut
don't like that
symbol.
gossip shit.
Yeah,
Stop it.
no. Well, that
Woo.
the gossip is one thing, having integrity. I always like to say if I have an opinion to share, I want to almost act as if the person I'm speaking of or the situation, I'm being recorded.
Yeah.
That I want to have that much integrity. I don't ever want to be, you know, caught with my pants down saying that I shouldn't be saying. So,
And you
um
gotta walk back and oh, I didn't really mean it that way. And
it's horrible
yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
mean and it's hurtful. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
really hurtful.
Without a doubt.
And there's limits to also to what we can say. So sometimes, we all know that person's like, I say what I feel and I say what I'm thinking, and people, and that somehow makes them hold this, they're tough. They're, I say what everybody's thinking. Well, to a certain degree, but to a certain degree, we also have to consider other
Other
people's
people's feelings,
feelings.
exactly.
And
I would
what's the
say it
point?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, we all heard the old saying, you know what opinions are like.
I
Yeah,
know
blank
there's like
and
assumptions.
and
Oh,
yeah,
I'm jumping ahead here. I
yeah, no,
forgot I
no, no,
heard
no,
that. All
that's
right,
part of that's part
that's
of the
what I forgot.
script.
Okay, that's right. That's
So,
right.
guys, this is getting really juicy, hot, and heavy, and I hope you're learning a lot. Again, be impeccable with your word. And my word right now is we will see you in just a few for segment two, where we're going to talk about the second agreement about not taking anything personally. So, thanks for
Right
being
on.
here. We'll catch up in a bit. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Good Soul. We're on segment two, episode 22. I
Ooh,
can't believe it. Yeah, I got the sillies
yay.
out, episode one. I said I was like a little wiry, but no, I'm feeling good now. My
Nice,
boys made me
nice.
feel
Let's
good.
flow. Let's flow.
Yeah.
Let's flow.
So we're talking the four agreements by the incredibly brilliant author Don Miguel Ruiz. We're going to start right into the second agreement.
Dive right in.
So the first agreement was, as we said, be impeccable with your word. Second agreement, don't take anything personally. Don't take anything personally. Avoid
Let it
emotional
go.
let it go. He flicked his shoulder for those of you listening. Avoid emotional suffering by understanding that others' actions and words are a reflection of their own reality, not yours. What a powerful statement. What a
Deep
powerful
thought.
statement. Well, I mean, there is no question in every relationship. I mean, even down to when we're driving down the road and somebody cuts us off, we get angry. We literally take it personally. We start to analyze the person in front of us, to which I always say to you, maybe they're having an emergency. You need to calm down. No, but really, it's
Road rage.
yeah. Well, they say that this is a little off topic, but they say that road rage, or I'm sorry, driving in the car is the most fertile breeding ground for a man and woman to have a fight, a couple, because they say that the man wants to be kind of the hero and kind of riding the chariot, and when the woman is questioning his ability to keep her safe and protected, it angers them. So
Not this.
I
You're
do
not
the
doing this.
invisible
Going
brake.
every
I'm
5 seconds.
constantly yeah,
Easy.
and I always say to him, "Please don't take it personally. It
Yeah, but
is."
it's hard when somebody's in a passenger seat making all these movements and you're not doing nothing wrong. You're just flowing the traffic. That's all you're doing, flowing with traffic. You make the driver nervous, kind of. You're like,
I
I'm
wish
trying to drive, man. I'm trying to
God,
make you comfortable. I'm trying to be comfortable.
Jesse, Rachel, Molly, help. Help! SOS. Those are our
Ah,
daughters.
shit.
Yes and no. I agree with you. I think that it kind of goes back to it's going to go ahead to one of our future agreements that we haven't talked about yet, is that you have to take responsibility for your responses to how people react. Now, I agree with you. I will own um, that behavior of mine, and I will definitely continue to work on it, and I do, I do. It's usually better. I'm usually a lot calmer after a lavender martini on the
Daniel,
nines,
yeah,
then I
nice
don't
try, buddy.
complain, and then when you put on "Ba Wada Ba," then I really I
You're like,
really lose my
oh,
cool.
my music, forget
No,
about
that's funny. But no, seriously, don't take anything personally, and we're gonna give you a little I'm gonna give you guys a little bit insight into
it.
what
All right,
Don Miguel
put the
has to
glass
say.
on.
What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, not yours. This vital agreement allows you to detach from the emotional turmoil caused by others' opinions and actions. Their judgments, criticisms, and behaviors stem from their own fears, wounds, and beliefs. Not objective truth. It's not objective truth about you. By not taking things personally, you avoid unnecessary suffering and correspond with wisdom rather than reflect with hurt. So, for
Hmm,
example, when you and I are in the
okay.
car and I start doing that, rather than getting angry at me, saying like, "Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Like maybe I was rear-ended when I was a kid, and I'm suffering from that kind of like residual trauma of that." And rather than getting mad and taking personally, trying to more or less empathize with me. And that's just one example. I'm
But
sure
I
there's
do.
no. You get very mad at me, and
I
you don't
don't.
talk to me the whole way home if I start
That's
doing
after the
this.
ninth time.
Yeah. Okay. So
Starts getting
anyway,
tense. Starts getting like, oh, I'm sorry. Let me back off. I don't want to get
no, I know.
in
Well, I'm gonna, like, tie my arms
trouble.
down every time we drive. Whenever you feel offended or upset by someone's comments or actions, remind yourself that their behavior is a projection of their reality, not yours. For example, if a colleague snaps at you, instead of brooding over it, recognize that they might be under stress. This mindset helps in not internalizing negative interactions, and maintains your own emotional
You make me
equal.
remember that a lot. That's good. Yeah, I like
What's that?
to think. Relax, think about it.
Yeah,
And enter a little bit and understand what the other person's coming from.
you
And
must. I
like you
mean,
said, you got to give other thoughts to other people too. Meaning, hey, maybe she was in an accident. Maybe she was. Not. using the car thing as a thing, example again,
Yeah.
you
Well, I
know?
think too, like, and we're gonna have an episode with Justin coming up within the next few weeks on political differences
Oh
and
boy, that's a tough one.
talking about well,
Because people are
why do
cemented in now with their
well
beliefs,
well
and
and
especially now, it's such a country subject. I'm sorry, sweetheart.
no, that's okay. It's just I think what's interesting about it is how enraged people get and
That's what I'm
how
saying.
frustrated they get. And to me, anybody that I know that gets that upset and they're obsessing and obsessing and watching all these radical, you know,
Beliefs,
programs
thoughts.
either one way or
Yeah.
the other. And again, I'm talking both sides that I kind of it gives me pause and it makes me say wonder like what's going on in your life that you have to channel and it's almost like you're venting frustrations that are far beyond this political candidate you hate so much.
Yeah, I hear you when you're saying that. Even
Yeah.
if they're wrong, not them, even me. So you try to push. Not that I do a lot, but if you're wrong, they try to just push you to. No, I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong. This is
Well, the
why, and give an
whole
example, and then they start getting, and then
well,
that's when the anger starts coming in,
yeah,
trying to
and
prove a point.
this what comes back to not taking anything personally and really having the ability to understand that everyone has their own reasons for thinking, believing, liking, enjoying, disliking anything,
And at
whether
that
it's
moment too, it depends. Again, hey, they could have just got back from having screaming babies, and they're a little
yeah, that's
different.
exactly
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And then their
Absolutely.
attitude and everything else a little off from what they usually are.
Yeah. Remember we were at the bar that one night at the club and the bartender was, like, in a bad mood, and we love him,
Like we
but
know who we're talking about
yeah, no,
exactly.
no, no, that's okay, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say his name, but he was just he was so out of character,
Yeah,
and
because he's usually a really nice guy.
oh, he's
A really
fantastic,
nice
and
guy.
he just
The
was
welcoming and everything. He didn't even welcome when we walked
yeah, it was really rough, and I insert alcohol, and I'm like, "Let me," like, "What's the problem?" But it's
in.
silly. I mean, at the end of the
That's
day, this
funny.
is all what this agreement about. It's about not taking things personally because there's always, no matter what, I don't care what anybody says, whatever somebody's going through, when they're treating you a certain way and they make you feel a certain way, their treatment of you is nothing personal. Your response to that person is all of your business. That what's going on with them is none of your business, right?
Exactly.
So it's really
You
important.
only can
So
state your point and move on. They don't believe in it. You got to move on, like you said.
yeah,
Just move on and let it go.
absolutely agree with
You
you.
know.
So let's troubleshoot this whole thing. So what do we do? Reflect on our reactions. So when we feel upset by somebody's words or actions, pause and remind yourself that their behavior reflects their own reality, not your reality, which again, we've said, but it definitely bears repeating. Second, seek perspective. So discuss your feelings with a trusted friend or write them down to gain perspective and distance them from the situation. And the third, develop emotional resilience. Engage in practices like mindfulness or meditation to strengthen your ability to remain centered in the face of criticism.
Mm.
So, can you think of a time when you took someone's actions personally? Hubby?
Your actions all the time I take seriously. What are you talking about? If that's the
Personally,
question, personally,
personally.
it's not so much personally. It's just a reaction. Everything is personal when it's directed at you, right? Isn't
Yeah.
it personal? All right, you're directed at me, so it's kind of personal, right?
It's the
No,
whole point of the
yeah,
agreement,
that's what
silly.
I'm saying.
And it's telling you not to do that.
Okay, I
Not to do
understand. And not to do it, I understand, but you're still gonna take everything, hey, I gotta think, okay, maybe I am like that. Then you could reevaluate yourself.
right. Yeah, absolutely. You're saying reevaluate yourself.
Yes, and the meaning of any perspective that you're trying to throw at me there.
So elementary, my dear Watson. I love you so much.
Oh, you're doing it funny. Go ahead.
You're so cute. Well, I can think of a good one when you
Okay,
took something
please
personally.
help me out.
The Darren Zeno episode and the Lizette episode too.
Damn it. What do you
So Darren Zeno episode, he said you said something and I can't remember
Oh, the
what
look you
he
gave.
claims I
Oh,
gave him a
okay.
dirty look.
She did,
Okay. And
and you don't realize it.
I can't remember what the circumstance was with Darren that, I gave you the look, but it wasn't a dirty look. It wasn't a dirty look.
Everything
Wait.
says, I know you like a look.
No.
I know when you get agitated. You act like I don't know you. I know you 100% just
That's
about.
not gonna fly, Tonto. That is not gonna
Okay,
fly.
okay,
All
I
right,
know you.
first. Second was the Lizette episode I remember clear as a bell because it was Bill's in my ear, right, giving me the countdown, and he's like, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and it's like 30 seconds, she's like knee deep in a story, and she said something with like a Spanish accent, and I'm trying to like get her to finish the story,
And she did
and
though,
you like repeat what she said, like being funny. You're like, "Ay, caramba," or whatever she said, and you repeat it. And I was like,
because it's
SCFU.
Spanish. It's it
Yeah,
was just because I'm Spanish. I can
I
understand the
know. No,
accent,
and it's
so
very
it's
cute.
it was right. It was correct. And I was like, oh, well, that's exactly
It
how you
was
say it.
correct, but we were
Not that
also
I'm the best. I'm
the clock was ticking, and I kinda looked at him and did, like, the big eyes, and then the big eyes moved over to Lizette, which I think he thought I was, like, rolling my hit my eyes at
not.
him. So, what happens is we wrap up the show, and he, like, hobbles out the studio, he wraps up the wires, shuts the lights, and doesn't kiss me goodbye, which is, like, a big no-no in our relationship, like, we're very affectionate with one another, and I was like, "What the hey? Like, what did I do?" And I literally sat at
And
the
remember, it's
desk.
not you. Back to that. It's not you. Maybe it was me having that time.
Well, I guess I sat back at the desk and watched the unedited footage on the laptop to see the exact moment, like, when it happened, and I saw and it was just for me, it was a stress response. Like, I do get excited, I'm passionate about the show, I love the
She's
show.
very passionate.
Manny's my
Yes.
husband, of course, I love him more than life itself, but he's also at the same time, obviously, has to deal with some of the stuff. So, guys, listen, here we go.
Yeah. Go ahead. Let it go.
We're going to wrap this up, the second segment, because we're heading on into the third segment. The third agreement will be don't make assumptions. So this is a big
Don't
one.
make a
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
me,
yeah. We'll
you.
talk about it. So
Right
guys, we'll
on.
see it if you. Thanks so much for being here. We love you. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Good Soul. We're on episode 22. This is our third segment. We're talking the four
Woo.
agreements with my beautiful bad you know what?
Whoa. Hey
Woo, I
now.
didn't say it.
Hey
I
now.
my bad to the bone husband, Mr. Manny Alvarez. Oh my god. So, speaking of right?
Yeah.
The third agreement,
Assumptions.
don't make assumptions. This is a big one because we all know making assumptions makes a blank out of you and of me. Exactly. Yeah, that's one of like the first one-liners I think I've learned in my young adult
Yeah, I
life.
heard that so many times.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a
It
good
is a
one.
truth one though.
Yeah.
It is true. Don't assume.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh
God, no. Oh, do we have
man.
to start over, Bill, or can you just bleep that one out? All right, we're gonna bleep that out. Oh, baby,
Sorry
God.
about that.
All right,
It's a construction to me.
I
It's a
want you
construction to me. All right, I can always say
I want you to take a beat, and I'm gonna read. We're gonna unpack a little bit about Don Miguel's take on not making assumptions. So, question the stories you create about others' behaviors. We all have a tendency to make assumptions about others' motivations, emotions, and the meaning behind their words and actions. However, the problem with making assumptions is that what we believe is real. I'm sorry. Let me start over. The problem is with making assumptions is that we believe they are real and true for ourselves and for others. By not making assumptions, we can better communicate, understand one another, and avoid misunderstandings that create negativity. Cultivate the habit of seeking clarity in all interactions. If you're unsure about a friend's tone in a text message, ask them directly about their intentions instead of assuming they're upset with you. In professional settings, clarify tasks and expectations to avoid misunderstanding. This approach fosters clear communication and minimizes conflicts. God, I have so many things to say about all of this. I'm going to start with The Devil Next Door that we've been watching on Netflix and
Oh,
talking about
Ivan the
Ivan the
Terrible.
Terrible, and
The
it
Terrible.
all it really does bring up a lot of things. Now, Ivan the Terrible was, a Ukrainian, well, he was allegedly a Ukrainian. I don't wanna
But
spoil.
there was an Ivan the Terrible. They just couldn't say it was him
They
for
were
a
trying
fact.
to figure this all out, and
Yes.
let's not spoil the show for everybody because
Okay.
it is really a great, show.
Yeah.
It's 5
History.
episodes on Netflix. Well, I still continue to grapple with, And I know everybody agrees with me, so I know I'm not saying anything particularly profound here. But I just still can't believe that 80 years ago that the Holocaust took place. I
Oh,
just
to follow a madman like that,
well,
just
how?
I
Like,
don't
how does that happen? How do we
peer pressure. There's a lot of things like that. You don't understand what I'm saying about
well,
peer
he was
pressure and
good well,
put on the spot. Okay, he's doing. If you don't do it, you're not one of us.
yeah.
You're not superior than it. Easy, kid.
Well, and I guess that he was making, the people he was oppressing, which wasn't only the Jews, but of course
It was,
the Jewish
yeah, yeah,
people,
yeah.
that he was trying to make them seem like they were terrorists, that they were, all kinds of
Just
terrible
evil.
things.
They weren't on their level. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. So how does this
Idiot.
happen? I mean, that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't. Don't even. That's a deep topic. You'll go on for hours with that.
It's deep, it's painful, and I don't know
It's
why it
gut
hits me
wrenching,
so
man.
hard.
Especially watching it and hear the number that one man, the terrible cause,
Yeah.
800 and something
75,000
thousand.
lives in one camp.
800,000.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So anyway, my
Terrible.
whole because if you watch episode, this man is like he's kind of cute. He's got like, he's an older man, but he has like this
He's
like
a big
very
guy.
very likable face. It's
You
like
like
he's like a huggable kind of
he looks like
man.
it can be jolly, but he also looks like it could be nasty
I
at
don't
once.
think I don't see nasty when I look at him. Obviously, he's nasty, but his appearance I think does him justice. Even
He
at,
looks like a big jolly guy
he
almost.
looks like a big jolly guy, and his kids love him, his families love him. And I guess my point of it is that they're in the courtroom, and for some reason, you're like, you want him to be, you want everybody to be innocent. You want like people who aren't proven and are saying, I'm innocent.
But
You would
again, he wasn't.
pray, you want to believe in people, but everybody in the courtroom, like these people are saying, no, I was there.
And that was him. He might not have been, you don't want to call him terrible, whatever, but that was him.
He was working the door, and I guess the whole point to my bringing this story up for the third agreement, which is again, don't make assumptions, is saying like how what if these people are wrong and they're making this assumption and there's this room full of probably 200, 300 people in the courtroom yelling and
We're
screaming.
gonna ruin the movie though if I say something.
You
Like I said,
can't, you
I know
can't
what you're
say
saying,
it.
but it, yeah, you're
No,
gonna ruin
you
the movie.
can't say
I
it.
can't. Yeah, I don't want to ruin the
All
movie.
right, so
Sorry.
all right, so let's pivot. So I've been definitely you want to check out The Devil Next Door if you have any sort of interest in World War II. My biggest interest in World War II is what can I do through the podcast, through my future career in politics to prevent something even remotely close to that to happening in this world, in this country, on this planet. I just I need to understand why and how people did what they
It-
did. I think the
it's too hard
four
to believe. It's just too hard to comprehend how he had
yeah.
killed everybody's brain to think what he was
Well, he
thinking.
brainwashed everybody, but this is why it's so important that we have shows like The Good Soul and books like The Four Agreements and, podcasts like Oprah
Man, you got me
and
thinking about
because
that
you
show. It's
really have to
crazy.
people have to do the work because if people are empowered and virtuous and self-aware, a lot of that stuff isn't going to happen. You're not going to be as
That's so
brainwashable
gullible almost,
as
right?
yeah, exactly. And I think that's always been one of my biggest driving forces behind not only the yoga studio, but again, of course, the podcast and why I want to pursue politics and writing a book even. So, and we can pivot a little bit and let's take this down on a lighter note to something like a text message, right?
Huh, now
Somebody
we're
will
going
send
from this to text message. Okay,
yeah,
that's two
somebody will
different
send you a
extremes.
text message and you'll read the text message. The kids, they always make fun of me because I actually punctuate and use proper grammar in my text messages. And they're constantly making fun of me because they say, Molly said, Mom, it makes you seem like you're mad when you, when you use punctuation in your text messages.
Period.
I know. Well,
Period.
I don't use like you. I don't write the letter you. I write the word you, and
I do. I write the
it
word
kind of
out.
irritates me with anybody over the
I
age of
think it's just old timers, like honestly, do that.
what you write the
No, I write everything out,
you
like you,
when we first met though, you would do
because I'm trying to be cool.
yeah,
I'm going to the
no.
kids.
I think cool is using proper grammar and
Well,
writing things
that's
out.
I do. I write things out.
Yeah,
I
well,
understand.
and I also like I'm always so sensitive to especially my stepdaughters, most notably Rachel, because we have such a tender relationship and it's so like sweet and savory. And if there's ever any form of misunderstanding or any kind of tension at all, like I'm always so careful in the way I
Yeah,
type
right,
things
right.
I know. Well, she's got such
She's
a
right, right.
tender heart.
Jesse's Jesse and Molly's Molly.
Well, Molly, yeah, Jesse is tough as nails, right? And Molly is kind of a little of the both, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Molly's unique.
It's
So,
good. It all balances out. It's what a family we have, kid.
oh my God, we're so
What a nice
blessed.
family
I
we have.
know, girls, we
Girls are
love you
great.
so much. But
Yes, yes.
anyway, so let's troubleshoot a little bit and let's talk about what we can do to kind of, I guess, handle making assumptions and how to prevent ourselves from making
Let's
assumptions.
hear it.
So ask for clarification. When in doubt, ask questions to ensure understanding. Avoid jumping to conclusions about others' intentions and feelings. You hear that?
Oh, me. Oh, I was going with you with that one. I was
Oh
going
my
right
God,
back
we're
at
getting
you.
really comfortable in front of this camera. Next thing you know, we're gonna have like a fight on the show. Wouldn't that
And
be
meanwhile,
great?
we're promoting all this good.
I know.
Love you,
Oh God,
sweetheart.
but listen, there is no such thing as
No,
good
there is not. There is
without
not. I know.
bad.
I know.
Yeah, I
Know
mean,
that.
we are
We
not
know
at
that.
all Pollyannic. I know I say it all the time. I put these beautiful, eloquent posts on Facebook, and I always,
But we
at
have
some point,
ours.
have to say,
Oh,
like,
that's everything.
yeah, we endure a lot. I mean, we suffer. Well, we don't suffer, but
We
we
don't
definitely are challenged. Our communication at times, we do make a lot of
My health
assumptions
gets
about.
involved. It's just a lot of things, but we handle
Yeah.
good. We do good. We do
Of
good.
course.
We
I
do
mean, our
great.
love is
We do.
to me,
Yeah,
our love
strong.
story, it's one for the books. I mean, our love story is extraordinary. But yeah, guys, don't get me
I'm
wrong.
carrying on. Yeah, I'm
And
sorry.
yeah. Last one, check your interpretations. Regularly assess whether your assumptions are based on facts or interpretations. Big one. Really big
You
one.
know me about facts. I love my facts. I don't speak too much unless I'm spoke.
You love your fact. You're so cute. You're a
What?
fact
Are you
guy.
gonna make it fun?
No, not at all. I agree with you. I think that, I love watching the show Bratz, and you know what? I'm gonna hold this thought. I don't
Rats?
wanna spoil it, but we the Andrew McCarthy show that we watched last week about the Brat Pack with Demi
Oh yeah,
Moore and
yeah, yeah,
Rob Lowe.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we're gonna get
Oh,
into it because I want to talk a little bit about Demi Moore and how she handled the conversation with Andrew McCarthy, and so forth. So, guys, we'll see you on the flip side for segment 4, where we're going to talk a little bit about Demi Moore and also all about doing our best. So stay right there. We'll see you in a few. Hey, friends, welcome back to the Good Soul episode 22. We are talking the 4 agreements, and what a great ride this episode has been.
it's fun.
I
Fun.
came in like a lion and I'm gonna go
I didn't
out
know what
like
to
I'm
expect. I
gonna
was
go
like,
out
oh,
like a lamb.
okay.
Yeah, well, I love having Manny on because Manny is, I don't think, has ever read a self-help book in his whole life because he was born perfect. But
Easy. I
but
don't talk like that. She's just saying that.
I'm
I know.
joking.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm joking, but I do think if I could have my husband start anywhere, it would be the 4 agreements. Of course, the untethered soul is one of my favorites, or the mountain is you. So, but we're talking 4 agreements today. So we're on our fourth agreement. The fourth agreement is always do your best. But before we get into it, I want to talk about the documentary that's on Hulu right now called Bratz. And Bratz was put together by Andrew McCarthy, and he was one of the, I would say, core 5 members of the Brat Pack. The other members being Ali Sheedy, Rob Lowe, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald. Who am I missing? Not Martin Sheen. What's his name? Emilio Estevez.
No, yes,
Emilio
yeah, yeah,
Estevez. Yes. So core movies, St. Elmo's Fire, About Last Night, The Breakfast Club, of course, is probably the most popular one. And then there were kind of, what did they say? Brat Pack associate or Brat Pack adjacent would be Leah Thompson, Matt Dillon. It was a great documentary, hour and a half
yeah. Because they
long.
do. Who was in the Brat and who wasn't? Remember that
Yeah,
last
like the
bit?
guy
You
from,
thought some of them were, and they really weren't
yeah, like, who's
because you're saying that.
the guy that played Ducky in, Pretty in Pink? He was like, "Was I a Brat Pack member?" The article was written originally on Emilio Estevez and Rob Lowe and Andrew McCarthy. I think were on the cover of New York Magazine in probably somewhere around 1988 or so, and the article was entitled "The Brat Pack." And if you trace history, if you read Rob Lowe's book or you read Demi Moore's book, which were fantastic books, by the way, um, you kind of notice that their careers kind of did, I don't wanna say tank, God knows I'm not, I think they're all incredible, their movies were great, they're still really all very nice people if you watch the documentary, so I don't wanna sound like I'm judging anybody. But, they didn't go on to the Tom
No, the
Cruise-esque
superstardom.
stardom, this to superstardom. Yeah, Demi Moore a little bit, Rob Lowe definitely, like, and but you could tell, like, Rob Lowe's working, I mean, he's on, like, a game show right
He's on, yeah,
now,
he does a
he wrote
lot
a
of stuff
book.
that's,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
mainstream, but he's out there all the time.
He is out there. He's always definitely so, my the moral of my story is, A, watch Bratz because it's great, especially if you were born between,
Brings back memories.
1965 and, like,
Memories.
1980.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah, yeah,
really
yeah,
love
yeah.
watching Bratz. But B, how impressed I was with Demi Moore and how self-aware and grounded she
Yeah,
is.
she was, she was.
She first of all,
Well,
he
Emilio and that other guy, what was the one that,
Andrew McCarthy,
yeah, they didn't talk for a
none
long
of them
until
did.
till then. And when he said, "I haven't talked to," and then it ended up being like, "Well, I thought you said this, and you didn't." And then they made a good, yeah, you
The
guys were
4
making assumptions,
agreements,
and
the
next
4
thing you know,
agreements.
they were all,
Yeah.
they were ready to cry because Emilio said something nice to him, and then he said something nice. Remember?
Yeah, of
Okay, okay, yeah,
course.
yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the show is definitely a great exercise
That's pretty good that
in
he did that.
the importance of, oh, yeah, the importance of interpretations and us taking responsibility
And
for
assumptions.
and assumptions and taking responsibility for our own reactions to
That
things.
was pretty good the way you put that.
Yeah, who, me or you?
You.
Oh,
I
well,
just put
thank
a
you.
little, a little salt
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a
pepper.
great, and I think anything we watch, any show, any movie, and you can walk into the Quick Trip and buy a pack of
Just
gum,
it's
and
what you get out of
you
it.
can exercise your compassion, your integrity, your ability to connect to people. But Demi Moore definitely interpreted the Brat Pack experience as positive, as did Rob Lowe. Andrew McCarthy, not so much. He was very hurt by the whole experience,
Yeah,
and
because he saw things that were some, and that's one of the reasons. Because he said he thought some things were said, Emilio Estevez, and they were, he again made an assumption that it wasn't what Emilio was thinking. And at the end, he said, "That's not what." Oh, that's, and he goes, "What I really think about you," and he's like, then McCarthy, right? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He started crying, kind of. You know what I'm saying? He's like,
sure.
"Oh, and then they worked it. I know
Yeah.
it was a nice.
Well, let's just take these 5 core actors, and that was very nice. Let's take these 5 core actors and let that be proof positive to you how the responses and again, the interpretation and the way that they use, as my father used to say, use your gifts. Everybody knows no matter what is happening into us in our lives, what be it be good, bad, or in between, to turn it for good. That was a line that my
Try
father
to
has
always
used.
try to make
Always
the
turn it
best
for
out of it.
good.
That's the
Yeah,
best
well,
out of
look at the life that we've created, as
it.
a result. I
Oh, I
mean,
couldn't ask for anything better.
I was sad, thank you. I was sad and single, right? And I kinda didn't know where I was headed. My dream of being, the next Dick Hayne/Urban Outfitters and revolutionizing retail clothing,
Clothing, because
didn't
that's
go
your
as planned,
thing.
right? And you had been diagnosed with MS. I mean, both
Yes.
of these things happened within a year of us meeting one another. And, while certainly we're not multi-billionaires and certainly life is not perfect, we are well on our way and we embrace every moment of the journey. We just built a home, a beautiful home in our dream neighborhood, and we're happy. And I think I think a lot of that has to do with the work. I think the work that I put in, the
And I put in too.
experiences that you put into, and enduring these challenges.
And then plus, that's on top, the challenge of that. We've been through a lot.
I think everybody's, and
And that's what I'm
I
saying.
agree, and
It's
I
good.
honor that, and I
It's
think
what you make
everybody.
out of it. So, like, your point being, yes, yeah, yeah, we
So
might have
look at
been
the
through a
way
lot, but look at us now. We're doing great.
Yeah, look at the way Andrew McCarthy reacted, and Emilio Estevez was a little bit in the middle, but Demi Moore and Rob Lowe really were like, it's great. It was a gift. And what was cool about it too, because time is ticking here, and I want to talk about the fourth agreement, but that at the end, Andrew McCarthy got to talk to the writer of the article and kind of, fix this unsettled business. His big beef was we were kids. Have a little bit of mercy on us.
Yeah.
Like you typecast us. We were not brats, and you didn't take our art seriously. That we were all serious actors. He had gone to NYU to study drama, um, and they wrote it off as
Mhm.
if it was just some quick, they got lucky. And we all know this. I mean, you look at anybody, Paris Hilton, Justin Bieber, all these people, that older people, or hippie people or intellectuals kind of go, "Ugh," you know, I'd like to see Justin Bieber can run circles around any of us, right? Between the instruments he can play, the dancing, the singing, like all these people, they don't get famous for no reason. It's, once in a while there'll be like somebody
There
will
are
go
people,
viral, but
like people hit the lottery. Once in a while they get
yeah, and
lucky.
they
People
all
get
end up
lucky.
going crazy because they didn't earn it. It's got to happen organically. The cake has to bake. The tree has to
But the
uproot itself.
foundation's got to be good.
The foundation's got to be good. So yeah, the lottery thing, I always say that I would not want to win the
Well, I,
lottery.
I wouldn't say that, but yeah, I know what you're
Well, you're
saying.
not
If it
alone,
worked
but
for you, feel good about. But hey, if
oh
you're gonna give
God.
me a couple million, I'll take it.
Well, I'm like I'm like, at my age, I'll figure it
I'll
out.
take it.
I'm
Yeah,
not
but
gonna blow
still,
it.
you'll take it.
Anyway, guys, the fourth agreement.
Right on. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
Always do
sweetie.
your best. I'm a yoga teacher. God only knows. Whew. Always do your best. Those are my two requirements in class, that you breathe and you try your best. Your best changes each moment. So keep taking the next step. This agreement relieves the pressure of always striving for perfection. It recognizes that your best will be different depending on the circumstances and conditions you face. By simply doing your best in each moment, you avoid self judgment, increase acceptance, increase self acceptance, and make optimum use of the resources available to you. Recognize that your best effort varies. On days when you're tired or unwell, adjust your expectations and be kind to yourself, knowing that you're doing your best under any circumstances. In contrast, on the days when you feel energetic and focused, or as I'd like to say, shot out of a cannon, capitalize on this by tackling more challenging
That's
tasks,
exactly what I do in my
and
MS. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna cut you off. You know what I'm saying?
personal projects.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You know my MS. I'm like, oh, I could do it. Let me just go do it. Get all
Yeah.
excited. I'm like, oh, 2 seconds later, I'm like,
I saw the funniest, I
oh.
saw the funniest video reel the other day, and it was like a cartoon character, and it was this really cute, the guy, it sounded like a black guy, like, I don't know if you guys know Clifford the Big Red Dog, but the dog,
Yeah, I'm,
T-Bone, like that T-Bone voice, he had that, like, it was so cute, and he was like me at the beginning of every workday when I wanna get a project done, 'cause I like, everyone knows me, I have this list of everything from run for US Senate to, like, cut my fingernails on my to-do list, and the character is sitting at the desk and he's going, "I am ready. I am effing ready. I am ready. Are you ready?" I'm like, "Oh,
get
that's
yourself
me."
pumped. Get
Yeah,
yourself
get
pumped.
yourself pumped.
Yeah.
So
Take on the challenges.
take on the challenges. So let's review again.
Let it
Let's
go, girl. Let it
review.
go.
So, the 4 agreements are:
You could
be impeccable with your I'm gonna quiz you.
no, don't quiz. You
Be
know me and
impeccable
quizzes.
with your word. Don't take anything personally.
Don't
Don't make assumptions, and always do your
assumptions.
best. So, how can living these agreements lead to greater freedom, happiness, and peace? Living by these principles can be transformative, leading to greater freedom, happiness, and inner peace. These 4 agreements, though simple in their essence, challenge deeply ingrained patterns of thinking and behaving that often limit our experiences of happiness. By being impeccable with our word, we create a foundation for trust and respect for ourselves and others. By not taking anything personally, it's a liberating practice that frees us from the weight of others. By not making assumptions, it prevents a multitude of misunderstandings and conflicts. And of course, by always doing our best, we acknowledge and respect our fluctuating capacities and teaches us to strive for excellence and for living our best
Good,
lives.
good. That's
Guys,
good.
I'm going to keep saying this. A happy, healthy you is going to create a happy, healthy world around you.
Around you, exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
And a
That
wise,
aura gets wider, gets brighter.
and a wise woman once said, if you think you're the enlightened one and everyone else around you is an idiot, you are not there yet, my friend. So keep that in mind. Have compassion and learn from those who think differently from us. And if you can't have a civil conversation or you're frustrated or anything like that, turn inward.
Yeah.
Turn
Deep
inward.
breath.
Yeah, deep breaths. So,
Step
guys,
back.
thank you for being here. Tune in on Tuesdays, 4 to 5 on WSIC 1059. You can catch us on all your favorite platforms. And we're going to keep doing our best to keep delivering you these inspirational, fun chats.
And smiles along the way.
Smiles along the way. I hope you had as much fun as we did. We love you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for tuning into episode 22. Peace
Doing a
out.
great
Until
job, babe.
next time. Same with you, honey. I love you. Bravo.